Everybody, what's going on? I just got a message from Salty Shellback. He had said that his son was interested in becoming a chef, and in school they wanted him to interview someone who is doing what they wanted to do as a child. And it was, you know, I thought about it for a second, and I got to tell you, I hate what I do. And I'll start from the beginning. When you make career choices, it should be something you like. But when I started, cooking was something I really liked. I was so interested in it, and it occupied so much of my time. But when you put it as a career, it evolves into something you really, really didn't expect and you don't see coming. So I started cooking maybe when I was 15 years old, 14, 15 years old. I started off as a dishwasher and a pot washer. And then I worked my way up to like prep cook. And then I worked my way up to line cook. And then I got fired because cooking jobs really don't last very long. Owners turn over so quick because restaurants just aren't successful. Big chain restaurants are successful, but that's another story. We'll get into that in a minute. So I went to school to get educated. I spent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to go to school. To go on my first day and meet with the chefs. Each day you had to deal with, I think, four or five chefs, maybe seven, I don't remember. And I couldn't figure out why every one of them was just such an awful, horrible person. I was just, they were nasty, they were rude. They would do things to you and speak to you in a way that I have never been spoken to in my entire life. And they kept drilling it through your head that they're conditioning you for the real world. I think it was my first introduction to the how to become a slave mentality and get used to it. I didn't see it. I didn't get it, And I went all through school, and I mean, I had chefs yell at me, yell in my face, take my food, throw it on the floor in front of me. At the end of the class, whatever you made, you could take home and eat. And as a college student, we didn't have any money. We had no money. My cabinets consisted of like a box of pasta and some ketchup, not like they are now. So you kind of were counting on taking that meal home and eating it. And they knew that. So, like, if you made something that wasn't exactly the way they wanted it, they'd throw it on the floor or they'd throw it in the mop bucket. So you had to go clean the mop bucket out, clean the mop out, and then clean the floor. And I just said to myself, why are these people just such jerks? And then I did my internship in a restaurant for the summer, and I would work from 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 3:30 in the morning without a break, frying chicken like buffalo wings. I think I was one giant walking zit, and I never saw the daylight. I'd get up, go to work till 3:30 in the morning, and that was it. Did that for the whole summer, so I lost that summer. Went back to school. I did this 3 summers in a row. Graduated school. Found that I couldn't get a job that paid any money. I invested all this money in the education, and the best I could get was a job that was paying $7 less than before I went to school, which I thought was kind of amazing too. So I said, I'll stick it out because they tell you in the interview, we really don't like people who jump around. It's hard not to jump around when you're cooking because it just sucks so much. So I landed a job in a hotel, and I stuck with that for 14 years, 15 years. New owners, new management, new reports, new bosses, bringing in new management. So you're constantly moving and going from place to place. And I went to probably 5 or 6 different hotels. Spent like a year or so there in the hotels, and ended up leaving, or they get sold, or the new boss doesn't like you. And I started working for IHG. That's like the company that owns Holiday Inn and a couple other hotels. And I stayed with them for quite a while. Career path, have my 401k. Actually, I planned on retiring with the company because working in hotels is much more steady work, less aggravation than working in a restaurant. And just showed up to work one day, and the amazing thing is salary. I'm working 7 days a week for salary, and at the end of the work week, I was saying to myself, I was making like $4 an hour for all the hours I'm putting in. I'm putting 60, 70, 80 hours in, going home, getting an hour's sleep, going back to work. You understand, in the food service industry, you're getting the lowest of the low, the most undependable people in the world. So if there's people on the schedule, they're not going to show up. If you're dependable, I think you're a resource that they want to exploit, and that's the only reason why you raise to the top is because you're dependable, and you can get the job done. I mean, I hate the job I have now. I go to work now, and I can't tell you there's not a night where there's not crying and screaming and people walking out and throwing and fist fights every single day. And it's like, I don't know. I've been doing it for so long. I guess like you just kind of get numb to it. Um, but the only way I could describe it is misery, absolute misery. I stand from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 11 o'clock at night. I don't get a break. I don't get anything to eat. If I walk outside for a second to get a breath of air, they come out chasing you like you're a slave. I mean, it's the craziest thing. I think if I could do it all over again, I would have gotten into a different kind of trade, like a service trade, like a plumber, electrician, carpenter, something like that. I think I would have did that. I wouldn't have done this. I'm 45 now. I'm still renting. I don't own my own house. My bank account probably has $3 in it. I live from check to check. Um, in my fridge, after I paid all my bills, electric bills, insurance bills, I had enough money to buy 3 sausages and a can of jarred tomato sauce. So I think you're seeing the direction I'm going here, where it's, and then once you get to the station where you actually start making some money, where you're yanking down 50, 60, $70,000 a year, for some reason, if the hotel or restaurant turns over and you're out of job, no one ever wants to pay you that money again. They will lowball you 25, $30,000 less than you were already making. So you end up taking, like me, taking a job for like chump change just to survive. And surviving ain't that great with a $14 an hour job. It just don't cut it at my age. I got big boy bills and I got a little boy paycheck. Um, so I keep interviewing, constantly interviewing. I'm like the interviewing man. You heard the running man? I'm the interviewing man. I'll do 3, 4 interviews a week, and I hear the same old thing. There's no benefits. Um, is there anywhere to move laterally? Is there any reason to stay here? And they get this blank look on their face like it's a paycheck. And then I'll go to another interview, and then the chef, he doesn't want to do any work. He wants you to do all the work for no money, and basically he wants to enslave you so he can sit at the bar and drink all night. So I leave that interview. Then I go to the third interview where the bean counter says, wow, the last chef here, he didn't know what he was doing, and he cost me a lot of money, so I'm going to be on top of you all the time, making sure you're making your numbers. So I leave that place, and then I go on to like one of the chain restaurants where they have that goofy, weird, crazy look, like it's psycho in their eyes, where they constantly put this act up like, it's fun and great here. This is all about fun and great food. And they have all those stupid pins clipped on their shirt and awards made up on the printer or world super manager, stuff like that. And one day, if you really get things right and we really think you're the fit for us, we may let you make a smoothie. It's still going to have our name on it, but we may let you make it. My God, if someone ever told me this when I was deciding to go to school, I probably still would have went to school. I enjoyed the education, and I enjoy cooking. I enjoy cooking for my family and my friends, but for a living, I don't enjoy it at all. I really, I despise it. So I think I would be the absolute wrong person to have an interview about it because I don't believe in discouraging youth. I don't believe in that. And but I also don't believe in lying to them. This career sucks. Doesn't pay any money. Never pays any money. You work for jerks constantly. You're constantly being yelled at. You're constantly being belittled. You get no sleep. You work every holiday. All your relationships fail because they don't like you. Your girlfriend does not want you away all night long. And when you get home, all you do is argue anyway. So relationships, they don't last long. You're never there for your family. You're never there on holidays. Thanksgiving, I'm up at 2 a.m. and I'll work from 2 a.m. till 7 p.m. that night, doing banquets and buffets. Every single holiday where the rest of the world is relaxing, you're slaving. And at the same time, all those people I was talking about, they're calling out, so you're picking up their slack. I don't know. If given the chance, I definitely wouldn't do it again. This is an unhappy video, but it's the truth, man. And now you have all these shows like Top Chef and Hell's Kitchen, where you see these retards yelling at the kids, like, you effing this, you effing that. And all the clowns in the outside world watch this, and they think that's the way you talk to a chef. And I gotta tell you, that's the way they talk to a chef. They yell at you, snap fingers, and stuff like that. It just sucks. Later, guys.